And we are live.
Hey
I believe
guys.
we are live. Hey guys, welcome back to Talking Blues. Welcome
Yep.
back to another live stream. Hope you're all doing well today. Before we get into the stream, please make sure you like, comment, subscribe,
Subscribe.
turn that notification bell icon on to be notified when we upload. Share this video out as much as possible, guys. It really does help us out. So this is your match review for RB Salzburg versus Chelsea. Chelsea 2, Salzburg 1. Winners of the group. After
Yes.
AC Milan beat Dynamo Zagreb 4-0. So, guys, we will have a special guest joining us today as soon as he sorts his internet out. You all, as some of you know from this past stream today, you probably know who it is already, but to people who don't know who it is, it's Chris, who is usually on, who is one of the moderators in our chat, who sorts
Really
that
good
out.
man.
He's a nice bloke, he's a really good bloke. We're really happy.
Yeah, he supported us all the way from the beginning.
Yeah, he supported us from pretty much the beginning. So, Chris, if you see this, cheers, mate.
Yeah,
we
cheers.
appreciate
Thank
it.
you, Chris.
But guys, come and join us in the
He's a
stream.
legend.
Come and get your comments in.
Yeah.
Come
talk
say
to us.
hi.
Yeah.
Get
say
a
hi.
shout out.
Yeah.
I'm going to share this out, Dad. So do you want to just talk about how you feel about the game today and how we progressed?
Overall performance, I think, was about 85-90%, on par. I think we played a really good game there. There was a lot of attack and defense.
I agree.
We, as you know, we won 2-1. So basically, we've won our group, which I'm overwhelmed with. Yeah. And, I'm hoping, I know it's only early days, and maybe I'm being a little bit too optimistic, but I believe we could go on to win this.
Yeah, I do think so. I think it's just based on how we perform in the next maybe 2-3 games in the Premier League before the Champions League starts up again, and go from there.
Because if you look at tonight, the champions, Real Madrid, they're being beaten by RB Leipzig.
RB Leipzig, and that's not normal. That's not normal.
Yeah.
It was 3-2 in the end, but that's not normal.
3-2. Yeah.
That is not normal.
Yeah.
But I'm excited about what's to come.
So a lot of these teams, the higher mighties, they're not unbeatable. Yes. So I do believe that we, with determination, the want, the hunger, we could go out there and we could win this again.
Yeah, I believe
the third time. Yeah.
I think it's important that we realise today the performances that we did have really showed us what we are capable of, and we got a measuring stick of where Potter is today from where he started at Chelsea. And to be honest, he's progressed. The football today was really good. We'll talk about that more as we go through the whole game. But
and if I come back to the first half, we should have been at least 3-4-0 up there. The chances we had and the misses we had.
So Chris is now in the stream.
Oh, he's back.
So I'm going to bring him in now, and he can give his thoughts. I'll ask him some questions, and then we'll go from there. So I'm going to bring him in now. How you doing, Chris? Nice to have you in the stream with us, mate.
What's going on, lads? Hope everyone's well. Hope you're good. Hope everyone that's listening is good. And up the Chelsea.
Yeah, the Chelsea.
So Chris, I was just sharing the stream out. So if you want to share the stream out as well, that would be great. If you can't, don't worry. I'll see to it now.
I'll get in touch. I'll get in touch with a few of my what's the word there? A few of my fans. 2 minutes.
Okie dokie.
Brilliant. Nice one. Yeah. So.
But yeah, guys, come and join in the stream. Come and join in the chat. Come and say hi. Come get a shout out. We'd love to have you with us. Please make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Turn that notification bell icon on to be notified when we upload. Share this video out as much as possible, guys. It really does help us out. We really do appreciate all the love and support you give us every day. It's really, really appreciated. I'm just going to share this out now.
So just come down, guys. Drop your comments in the box. even if it's just to say hi or you want to chat about something, you know, other than football, yeah, you know, we're here, and you know, whatever you want to talk about, you know, feel free, you're welcome.
Yeah, it really doesn't matter. Like, we'll talk about other results going on this evening as well and what's been going on. I think it's really important that we do talk about those, and I think, you know, because especially that the AC Milan result against Dynamo Zagreb, I think that's important that we do talk about that. I think it's really important.
Yeah.
But yeah,
and the Real Madrid, you know, being beaten by RB Leipzig.
Yeah.
Was it 3-2 final score? Was it?
Yeah, 3-2.
Yeah. Oh, amazing. You know, and they were champions last year of Europe. So yeah, they're not unbeatable. The same with other clubs such as Bayern Munich. You know, we done them.
Yeah, exactly that.
Yeah.
I mean, look, we got to be honest, right? It's going to be, you know, really interesting to see what goes on through the Champions League this season, and I think I'm really excited about how we progress as a team and how we progress now with under Potter, seeing what he can do, seeing what he's capable of. I think is really important, and you know, it's really, really, really important for us to understand that it is going to take time under Potter, but we will get there. I do think we'll get there with time.
I think his mettle will be tested next, you know, season. Do you know what I mean? You know, after Christmas time, you know, it's early days. Yeah, he's only just walked through the door. Okay, you know, we've been winning games left, right, and centre. We've drawn 2. Yeah.
Yep.
So, you know, it like I say, only time will tell. You know, whether he is for us or not.
Exactly.
But at the moment, that's all I can say. That he's doing a
stellar job.
Yeah,
he's doing a stellar job, and I think it's important. Chris knows all about Stella, by the way.
All about what?
All about Stella.
It's absolutely horrendous. That's all I've got to say about
that. well, Stella is in the beer.
Stella is in the beer, and Stella is in his partner.
Oh, right.
Yeah, definitely not a cooking mate, that's for sure.
Is that your partner's name? Is it Chris? Stella?
Of course it's not.
No.
Oh God, he's winding me up here.
But yeah, guys, come and get your chat. Come and get your thoughts on the chat. Come and say hello to us. You know, come and get a shout out. You know, come and just give your thoughts on the game. We'd love to hear from you. Yeah, it's gonna be a good stream. So while we're here, Chris, do you want to just give us your thoughts on the performance today, footballing wise? How you felt we played with how you felt we played with the ball, how we moved the ball around, you know, with the 1-2s, the clever interplay.
Yeah.
How do you think we got on with that?
Yeah, so I thought that overall, I thought the first kind of 15 minutes or so of the game, I thought Salzburg were building into it. I thought, okay, is there going to be one of them games like similar to Brentford, where they come out of the blocks and start going forward and start making it awkward for us? Because let's not forget the Salzburg were on a 40 game unbeaten run at home. So it was a very, you know, it's not an easy place to go. It's not an easy place to play your football that you expect to play. So, you know, I thought it was going to be like that. But then as the game progressed after that 15 minutes, I felt we took total control of the game. I thought that Chalobah was showing why he should be one of the first names in that back three. If Potter's playing a back three or a back four, if Potter's going to play a back four. Silva showing his consistency again, showing his class, showing his experience. And as I say, lads, I mean, it's not an easy place to go. So the fact that they were composed and, you know, they handled the pressure for the first 15 minutes under in Austria, I thought was very, very good. I was very, very impressed by that, to be perfectly honest. So, for example, Kovacic's goal, fantastic goal. Absolutely fantastic goal. Came out of nowhere, and I thought, I mean, Kovacic got that in the locker, and Kovacic is, in my opinion, now that Kante is kind of not over the hill, but now that Kante has got the injuries, now that Kante is looking likely to leave at the end of the season, I think Kovacic has stepped up, and I think Kovacic is our best midfielder. And I think if we just add quality to that midfield, we'll be totally fine. And I think the midfield, in my opinion, is the big issue, to be perfectly honest. But Kovacic stepped up, fantastic goal. He's got that in the locker, Kova. Very, very good player. And then half time comes along, and I'm thinking to myself, okay, let's keep this up, let's keep this momentum. They had shouts for handball as well, Salzburg, which I don't. The thing is with football that annoys me now is anything will be given today. In today's football, you touch a player, they go down, it's a free kick. You touch a player, they go down, it's a red card. I think it's getting a bit ridiculous, and I think it was clear from the first moment we saw it wasn't a handball. So, I'm surprised the referees got our decision right, because the referees these days are absolutely ridiculous in terms of the decisions they give. So half time comes along, and I think we need to keep the pressure on them. Half time comes along. Second half, we kick off, and I thought as soon as we concede that goal, I'm thinking to myself, we can't draw another game. Yeah, we drew 0-0 against Brentford, 1-1 against Man United, when realistically we should have got a result out of that Man United game, considering we did get the penalty late on and we should have pushed on. Unlucky to concede against Casemiro. It's just one of them things. But we needed a win. We couldn't make it 3 draws in a row. Ball comes to Kai, and Kai, for me in this game, was a big highlight. I said it in the stream, lads. I said it on Twitter. The spotlight was on him because he's been given opportunities under Tuchel this season, under Potter this season, and he's not been doing it. He's not been delivering, and he's been bang average. That Brentford game was the final straw for me. I thought, get this guy benched, start giving players the opportunity to play, the Broges, etc. So I thought, okay, let's see what he does when he comes off and plays his first game since being benched. He comes on. He plays, plays the game, and I think he done well. He done well, but it's all about the next game. For example, against Brighton on the weekend, if he plays, he needs to keep up this kind of a performance. It's not as if we spent 15 million on him. We spent big on this guy, and I mean, to be fair, I don't want to sound disrespectful to him. He's living off a Champions League goal, and it's the same with Mason Mount. Mason Mount was like that. Mason Mount was drifting off, and I'm thinking to myself, are these guys just going to live off a Champions League assist and a goal? So anyway, Havertz, scored a fantastic goal. So yeah, overall, lads, it was a very concrete, very dominating performance. Probably the best performance I've seen under Potter. But then again, I look back at the AC Milan games, and I think the 3-0 at Stamford Bridge was a better performance. So overall, it was a very, very decent performance, decent result. And it was a very, very well-earned 3 points, and a very valuable 3 points. Now, obviously, we're top of the group, and then we're finishing top of the group, and we're through to the next stage. So I'm very, very happy with this. Another result under Potter. So far, so good. So yeah, you've got to be happy. If anyone's moaning, as I say, Salzburg were 40 games unbeaten. We come along and we beat them. So let's keep this momentum.
Yeah, I agree. I agree, Chris. I mean, Jamie has just said hi in the chat. So hi, Jamie. Thanks for joining us today, mate. Really appreciate you coming along to join us today. Jamie, drop your thoughts in the chat. Let us know your thoughts on the game today. If you did or didn't watch it, just let us know your thoughts. Also, guys, please let us know who your man of the match was today. We need to talk about man of the match performances in a minute. And I think it's important that we really stamp and highlight certain players today for their performances, as Chris was talking about. So, like, Chris, I mean, you talked about Chalobah, you talked about Kai Havertz, you talked about Kovacic. All these players today, they looked fantastic. They were out of this world, and I think it's important that we do take a minute just to really detail what Kovacic does in the midfield for Chelsea. You outlined Kante's not there, so Kovacic has to take that role of doing everything. And I think it's it's important that we realise that some of these players are starting to really step up to the plate at times.
Well, also as well, I mean, there's one player that I didn't even mention, and I think I'm surprised at this because he's a first team starter. Jorginho was good tonight as well. Jorginho was very good, and I like Jorginho. I like Jorginho, but my big issue with Jorginho is sometimes when he's on the ball, and I like Jorginho as a player, I think the role that he plays in that midfield, no one can do. I'm not just talking about Chelsea, I'm talking about Italy. In that Euro final, for example, against England, which England lost. He was fantastic in that midfield, and he done very well. So no one can do that position as good as Jorginho, and I think he done very, very well tonight. My big issue with Jorginho, though, sometimes is when he's time to play a progressive pass and go forward, he passes sideways, and I'm thinking because he's got it out the locker. I mean, he has got that. I mean, I think it was Newcastle last season when he done the
Yes.
assist to Kai Havertz, and that was when we got sanctioned. And it's like he can do it, but sometimes it's like, is he just playing the safe options? You just pass sideways. I just think if he just passed more forward, he would be fine. But yeah, Jorginho tonight, sorry, was good.
I mean, the question I've got to ask, and I think this is the question I've got to ask you as well, Dad, and this is for both of you. So, do you think the issue with Jorginho when passing sideways and backwards, do you think it's a confidence issue?
Confidence issue.
Do you think sometimes his passes, he's not confident in his pass, he's not confident in what he's going to do? Do you feel like sometimes he could probably get a lot of hate for trying it and it maybe being off the ball, and a problem?
I don't know about you, Mark, but I just think I don't know. I wouldn't say it's a confidence issue. I would say it's more of because at the end of the day, the guy's performed. I mean, the guy's performed at the highest level, as I say, not just club level, but international level. I don't think it's a confidence issue. I just think it's the safe option. I think he's one of those players that thinks, you know what. Maybe not. I'm not to be scared of making a mistake, but just to think, you know what, it's a safe option to pass to a Reece James. It's a safer option to pass to a Cucurella or a Ben Chilwell instead of passing to the likes of a Mason Mount or a Raheem Sterling going forward. But as I say, he can do it because we've seen it. We've seen it in moments. So he can do it. I just think he thinks, you know what, it's the safest option. And plus, I mean, if you're passing to Reece James or Cucurella, those guys are creative anyway, so I think he's just thinking that more of that mindset. But I don't think it's a confidence issue, no.
No. And as you've seen with Jorginho, the last half a dozen games or so, he's really come on. He's woken up, as to say.
Yeah.
He's making a lot of mistakes prior, and he's playing with a lot more confidence now, and he's sort of thinking, who do I pass to here? Even though he's still doing the sideways pass all the time and not sort of acting on impulsivity and taking chances in the midfield. Overall though, I do think he is starting to build himself back up. He's always a great penalty taker as well. There's not many keepers have saved his penalties. I think was it Liverpool once? Who was it? Who saved his penalty? God, it wasn't so long ago, was it?
It could have been Liverpool. Pardon?
Was it with Italy or was it with Chelsea?
Well, I think it might have been the Euros.
Yeah, qualifiers. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
He does all this hop, skipping, shoot. I'm not a fan of that. I think if you're going to take a penalty, if you're going to take a penalty, look at where you're going to think about where you're going to put it and just smash it and rifle it top corner or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. Jamie has just come in with a comment saying, "Are you now fully focused on Brighton?" I mean, I think now that we're sorted in the Champions League, we can now go into the Brighton game with a good mentality. We've qualified for the Champions League. Let's keep that good progression. Let's keep that attitude, that winning attitude, and that winning run going. Let's start getting more wins under our belts. Let's start developing. Let's start to progress even more and try and maybe mount a title challenge. I'm not saying we will, because obviously it's going to be a very difficult league. You got Tottenham, Man City, Liverpool. Liverpool aren't even in the mix, and I hate Tottenham, so I don't even know why I mentioned their names. But Man United are in the mix. Arsenal are in the mix. Even Newcastle.
They aren't. Come on, let's be realistic. I mean, as I said before, Arsenal are like an elephant on top of a tree. No one knows how they got there, but we all know it's going to fall down at some point. I mean, for me, when we're talking about title challenges, with Chelsea, because we've been so successful and because we've been bit by some failure in recent times, in terms of not failure in terms of going trophyless for a period of time. I'm talking about being bit in the terms of the league. We should be competing at the top of the tree, and sometimes we've just been as I say, we can't seem to mount a 10-game 30. Because, to win the Premier League now, you need to be winning 13 games on the bounce to build that cushion of points. So, in terms of the league, can we win it? Yes. Will we win it? We're just taking it game by game. Would it shock me if we win the league? Of course it wouldn't. Would it shock me if Arsenal win the league? Yes. Because for me, they're absolutely bang average. And I'm not buying this hype of Arsenal. And people are going to say, Chris, it's because you hate Arsenal. I do hate Arsenal. And I mean, I don't expect them to say positive things about Chelsea. But at the same time, they're bang average. They can't handle expectations. They can't handle pressure. It's as simple as that. I mean, like, people are going to say, they beat Liverpool. Liverpool being bang average this season as well. Or they beat Tottenham. Who can beat Tottenham? Tottenham just got beat by Newcastle. So
Newcastle, yes.
These Arsenal are bang average. And when it comes to actually fixture congestion and rotating their squad's not good enough. Arteta is not a good enough manager, in my opinion. He's done very, very well. That's great. Aston Villa have just appointed a better manager than Arteta and Unai Emery. So for me, I'm not buying the hype about Arsenal. But just to answer Jamie's point there, yes, we can win the league. But will we win the league? We're taking it game by game. We're just taking it game by game. We're not a club. We're not a club that plans parades in October. Yeah. When we've got the trophy, that's when we have the parade. So that's the way it is. But in terms of the Brighton game on the weekend, Ben and Mark, I expect a hostile atmosphere. And all I can say to the Brighton fans is, bring it on. Don't be upset that we took your whole team. Don't be upset that we, as in the background team. Don't be upset. Don't be upset at Potter. Yeah. But I expect that. I expect it. Bring boo Potter all you want. Do it. Because we'll smash you 5-0. So let's do it.
Yeah, exactly.
I think it's important to realise that is going to be it's going to be a hostile atmosphere. Am I right in saying that you're going to that, Chris?
Brighton, mate. Yeah, I will be going. Yeah.
Oh, sweet. That's going to be an amazing atmosphere.
I mean, if there's any Brighton fans, if they want a trophy from Chelsea's trophy cabinet, I mean, if they want one, they can get one. It's up to them.
Exactly. I mean, James just asked another really important question as well. Will Newcastle will get Europe? Do you mean, like, I think he means will Newcastle get Europe? I think my answer is yes.
What, top four?
Not top four.
Europa.
I'm
League.
talking Europa League. Europa League or Europa Conference League. Either way.
As I say, I mean, it's still. I mean, at the end of the day, we've got a big competition that's just around the corner. A competition that I don't really want to speak about, aka the World Cup, because my team Scotland just doesn't qualify for World Cups, do they? But in terms of we need to decide. We need to see how from Newcastle just lost Alexander Isak for injury as well. I think we should all give predictions at the end of the World Cup, and how people deal with the January fixtures, because January is a big month in terms of fixtures as well. I think Newcastle will get Europe? All right, Conference League. We'll get Conference League. That's a European competition. Yeah, fine. But I don't see them getting Europa League, and I don't see them getting Champions League. But we'll see what happens. But as I say, I think we should all just give predictions at the end of the World Cup and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, if Newcastle get Europe, they've done very well. Because who would have said that? Who would have said that 2 seasons ago? Newcastle in Europe? Come on.
Exactly. I think we can also just take a moment to say to talk about the goals in specific moments of today, like the goals in specific. I mean, the build-up play to both goals was phenomenal. Dad, I mean, you were saying to me after the game that the build-up play today, from even in the game, like just to create chances, was insane. But the build-up to the actual goals, it was incredible. Like, how good do we look? We look really good when it comes to build-up play at the moment. And I think that's thanks to Potter, because when we look at what he liked to do with Brighton, was build up from the back, build, like quick 1-2s inside in the half spaces, and I think that's important that we realise that what we saw today was an absolute football masterclass, apart from the finishing.
Yeah, and not just in terms of the goals as well. We should have been up about 3-4-0, by the end of the first half. The misses we had, and who was it? Was it Kai? Didn't pull wasn't pulling the
Aubameyang.
trigger.
Aubameyang.
Didn't pull the trigger, soon enough. Yeah, and collides with the goalkeeper. And it's just, I get so frustrated with them sometimes. Yeah, like you say, they can't finish their dinner.
Yeah.
But tonight, okay, we did. We got 2 goals to the good. But shots on target and everything else. We should have been by the end of that game. I reckon about 5-0.
Yeah,
5-6-0.
I would say so.
Yeah.
Chris.
Well, they did score a goal, so it'd been 5-6-1, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Chris, what do you think? Like, we talk about the goals in specifics. Like Kovacic's goal first. I mean, the build-up play around it. Before the goal, it was a thing of beauty. I don't know what your thoughts on it, but I would love to hear them.
Yeah, I think it's the same story. It's not just this season. It's last season. It's we can do everything apart from putting that ball in the back of the net sometimes, and it's it's getting a bit laughable now because we've seen it season on season now, and it's not being rectified. And I don't want to sound harsh here, but I will sound harsh. I've never seen a bunch of players that are so lackluster in front of goal. When I think of previous Chelsea sides, the sides under Ancelotti, the side when Mourinho first came in, the even Conte was getting the best out of it. And the reason why is because we've not. I mean, we had Giroud. Giroud knew where to put the ball in the back of the net. Apart from then Giroud, it's Costa. Then apart from Costa, it was Drogba. We've not got a good track record finishers, but when we get a finisher, we can do it right. Aubameyang's came in. And to be fair to him, he's hit the ground running in terms of, finishing. He's got a very good return, and I kind of expected that from Aubameyang. Where he's been, he's had a what's the word? He's had a track record of when he goes to a club, he's got that instant impact, and that's obviously what Tuchel was wanting. Because at the end of the day, I mean, Mason Mount is kind of lacklustre in front of goal. Kai Havertz is definitely lacklustre in front of goal. Pulisic is lacklustre in front of goal. Hakim Ziyech is, see what I'm saying here? We've got 4. I've just mentioned 4 attackers. I can mention more, and they're, we paid big money for these guys. I mean, I'm not Mason Mount, but Kai Havertz in particular. So when I'm talking about killers in front of goal, I'm talking about the likes of a Harry Kane. I'm talking about it's like, it's not going to happen, but Erling Haaland at City, Mbappe could happen. I mean, I'm not saying it will, but Todd Bowley keeps going on about superstars. There's a superstar right there. Go get Kylian Mbappe if you want him. For me, though, if we had a Harry Kane, we would be fine. We would be absolutely fine because Harry Kane, if he can do it in a Tottenham side, he can 100% do it in a Chelsea side. He'd be working with better players. The input from Reece James on the right, Ben Chilwell on the left, or a Cucurella on the left. The mix up with, obviously, he worked with Raheem Sterling at England. You know what I'm saying here? You know what? It wouldn't be a hard deal to do. It would not be a hard deal to do. You know why? Because there's a guy out on loan called Romelu Lukaku. Lukaku comes back off loan. If Inter cannot, financially, get the deal done, how about we go to Tottenham? Because I think people forget that Conte and Lukaku's got a fantastic relationship. Harry Kane doesn't want to be at Tottenham. We need a striker. Boom, they would say, okay, Lukaku for Harry Kane plus 15 to 20 million. There you go, take it or leave it. But Daniel Levy won't do that because Daniel Levy is an absolute clown. So that's where Daniel Levy is. So I'm going to get my breath back. Ben, we can do everything. We can create chances. We can basically, what it is, we can cook the dinner. We can put it on the plate. But as Mark just said about 5 minutes ago, we cannot finish the dinner. And that's the big issue.
Exactly. I mean, like, Dad, I don't know how you feel about the creativity that we see. And creativity is important, but what's more important is finishing, I guess. And as Jamie's just mentioned in the comments, January transfer window. I mean, what happens if we get Ronaldo? Does that give us a natural finisher?
Well, it does, but do you want him?
Oh, not for his ego, no.
Well,
not really.
You know what? It doesn't bother me about that because you know what? It'll probably be a 6-month loan deal. But we don't need Ronaldo. We've got a finisher there in Aubameyang. What we need is a long-term solution. Ronaldo's going to come. Okay, it's okay. Is it going to be the same situation as it was with Tuchel then? When Tuchel wanted Ronaldo, Bowley wanted Ronaldo. He said to Tuchel, "Do you want Ronaldo?" Tuchel said no. So then he gets sacked mainly because of that. So is it going to be the same situation with Potter? Why doesn't Todd Bowley just be the coach then? If this is the situation we're going to get ourselves into.
Yeah.
So
I totally agree with that.
Yeah, I think it will happen. By the way, I reckon Ronaldo will happen because he doesn't want to be in Man United, and Todd Bowley's obsessed with the guy. As I say, Todd Bowley's obsessed with the guy.
Boys, have you just
he
seen
might
this
play for
comment?
Todd Bowley, then.
Have you just seen this comment?
Yeah.
Chelsea can't pay Ronaldo wages 750k a week.
He's not on that. He's on like 600. We can pay his wages. We can pay his wages. I mean, our wage budget is one of the highest in the league. We can 100% pay his wages. That's what I'm saying. Do you want to pay that? Unless
no,
what, the
thank
Man United,
you. No, thank you.
Unless we pay half, and Man United pay half. That's what I'm saying, guys. Todd Bowley is obsessed with superstars. If you're obsessed with a superstar and you want a superstar,
go and get Mbappe.
Yeah, but then people are going to say, "What about his ego?" I don't care about egos. Football's full of egos, right? Yeah. And it's all about how you handle those egos. If you can't handle egos, don't be in football. If you cannot handle it, do not be in football. Mbappe's there. Go get him if you want a superstar. Ronaldo, it's not 2012, it's 2022. He's 37. I know people are going to say to me, Thiago Silva's 37. Thiago Silva has not got an ego like Ronaldo. Thiago Silva's humble and he realises what he can do and what he can't do. Ronaldo thinks he can run anything he goes into and he just can't. Time's passed them on. Time has passed them on. The ship has sailed and that's that. But, you know, in terms of the January, I can definitely see he's going for Rafael Leao. I think Nkunku from RB Leipzig will be a done deal in the summer, and I reckon Guardiola will be a deal in the summer. My big issue is, lads, we just need to get to answer your original question, Ben. We need to finish our chances, mate. I'm sick and tired of seeing it. But it goes back as well. I don't care about style of play. I don't care if we play fancy football and win. I don't care if we play defensive football and win. End of the day, the only thing that matters in football is the result and trophies, and results get trophies. That's the way it is. I don't care about this tappy bollocks. You know what I mean? I don't care about it.
Exactly. And this is what happened today with those when I said it could have been 4-0 at the end of first half. You know, they just didn't, act on those chances they had, and like you say, can't finish their dinner. Yeah. It's
so
time and time again. Yeah. Then we had, what was his name? Not Kai Havertz, Werner. And
don't get me started on that guy.
That was another frustrating.
Don't get me started on that guy. That guy gives me trauma.
But him,
Havertz, I mean, he scored tonight. He scored tonight as well. But I knew that was going to happen, by the way. I knew exactly when he left Chelsea, he was going to go to RB Leipzig and start scoring. I'm not going to slag off the Bundesliga, but it just shows that, some players are suited for certain leagues and some players aren't. Timo Werner's a disaster.
Yeah.
In the Premier League.
Mm-hmm. Exactly, yeah.
I mean, I was one of the many who wanted him to succeed. Like I watched him in the Bundesliga before he came to Chelsea. I was like, we seriously need to get this guy, and he was scoring left, right, and centre. I was like, jeez. But to be honest, he worked hard despite not scoring goals. He worked his absolute backside off. Right, he created chances. He run with the ball. He would press like a mother bugger. He would do everything. And you know what? Hats off to the guy.
He made the effort.
For sticking it out as long as he did.
I mean, you know what, guys? I would not mind if we played. When Tuchel first came in and we were defensively solid and we won the game 1-0, 2-0, 2-1. I would love that because at the end of the day, when we're getting our chances, we're taking them. But now it seems to be we're defensively okay. I know we've kept a few clean sheets. I know Kepa, by the way, Kepa, unbelievable since Potter came in. I know we've kept clean sheets, but it's just the lack of finishing. I would love it if we were just defensively solid, nicked a 1-0 now and again, like Prime Mourinho. No one was moaning then. Bring it back. Just stick to basics, basic football, basic finishing. It's the basics of football. What do you learn at football? How to defend if you're a defender. If you're a player, how to pass, and if you're a striker, how to pass and shoot. That's basics. Some of these players are getting paid millions a year, and do you know what I mean? I've never seen a group that's so lackluster in front of goal, and it's quite. I mean, what are they doing in training?
Like, it makes you think, doesn't it? Yeah.
What are you doing in training? You're just laughing and having a good time. What's going on here?
Yeah. Because some of them, there's one or two I can pick out on. The ball is just 2 or 3 yards away from them. They're not even running for it. So obviously
That bugs me.
the
Seriously
opposition
bugs
gets it
me.
and they're taking
It
it.
seriously bugs me, man.
And
Because
it's like, why couldn't you just run for
Chris
that
has
ball?
gone again.
Yeah.
It's gone again. I
He's
think
gone.
his internet's a bit dodgy, guys. But we will try and get him back. I will try my best to get him back. But guys, literally, Jamie's just come up with a question. Ivan Toney, would you take him? Yes,
Yes,
but not this season. Not this season.
And the other one I would take is from Brighton, is McAllister.
McAllister,
Yeah.
Trossard. I would take. There's 3 players I would take from Brighton. It's Trossard, Trossard, McAllister, and Moises Caicedo. Those 3 players I would take because they're absolutely ridiculous. Honestly.
Is that Chris?
Yeah. He's back. I said back to the stream. There we are. You're back, Chris.
Technology these days, unbelievable.
Yes, exactly. We were just talking about Ivan Toney. Would you take him in the summer? And stuff like that.
Well, if we keep getting told, like you said there, Ben, right? You've just said there that was it Potter and this I hate the word process, because process I think should only apply to clubs that are being trophyless and the like a sleeping giant in a sense, like Everton, for example, trusting the process with a Lampard. With us, I don't think we're in a process. We need to win now. We need to do it now. That's not a process. Well, unless you want to say process of winning, get it done then, right? At the end of the day, if Potter's the long-term option, which Bowley says, and to be honest, I don't believe a word Bowley says, in my opinion, because he fed us rubbish when he sacked Tuchel. He sacked Tuchel and said he wasn't in line with the vision. I'm sorry, with the vision, you recommended he played a 4-4-3. So that's what vision you're on about, Bowley. You know what I mean? You're a bit clueless, pal. But in terms of Toney, if Potter is the long-term option, and if Potter wants Toney, get him. Do I want him? No, because I think we can do a better striker, aka Harry Kane, aka I know Toney's younger. Yeah. Harry Kane gets the job done. Mbappe gets the job done. Lewandowski would have got the job done, but that ship has sailed. He's going to enjoy bankruptcy at Barcelona. So in terms of Toney, sure. If Potter wants him, great. He wouldn't be my ideal first choice. I heard when I disconnected, lads, I heard you talking about Brighton signings. There's only one player I would take from Brighton. I don't want to go through this. Potter's worked with these players, so we get him. Caicedo, that's it.
Yeah,
Caicedo from in the midfield.
Yeah, Caicedo, mate, he is an absolute baller.
Yeah, I mean, we've got Cucurella. That would have been it. It would have been Cucurella and Caicedo. Cucurella. Let's just get Caicedo. McAllister. He's just signed a 3-year deal. I don't want him. Trossard possibly, or if it's a free, it's a good option off the bench. But I think, in my opinion, if it was only for me, I would only go for one player, Caicedo. Move on to another club. Move on to a Bellingham. I want Bellingham in Chelsea.
Bellingham.
So yeah,
that would be nasty.
Apparently, Bowley wants him 120 million euros. Which
120 million for Bellingham.
Yeah,
I can understand because he's so young, but is he going to flop?
No, he's not. He's mate. I love him. To me, he's him, Haaland, and who else? There must be some other player. Him, Haaland. There'll be another player out there. I would have it Chelsea like that. I don't care how much we spend. Get them in, because Bellingham is absolutely unbelievable, and it's another reason why. I mean, I don't want to make this an England topic, but it's another reason why England will fail, because he's going to pick that Southgate's going to pick the likes of Henderson and Eric Dyer, etc., over Bellingham, the likes of Foden. So for me, I love this. Keep doing that, Southgate. You know what? Give Southgate a contract extension, please. So yeah, Bellingham, 100%. Bellingham, get him in.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many transfers that we can discuss. I mean, the one thing I would like to discuss is goalkeepers too, because let's be honest. I know as much as Kepa is fantastic at the moment, what's the odds that he's going to have a dip in form at some point and we're going to try Mendy again and he's no good with his feet and then we're back to square one again? I mean...
Well, I mean, I think Mendy's time is done. Potter keeps saying he doesn't want to label keepers as number one and number two. Well, you're going to have to. At the end of the day, if Mendy's not getting game time, Mendy will want to leave. And to be honest, he's been shocking this season, Mendy, when he played.
Yes. Yeah.
That Leeds game was horrendous. It was anyway. It was just bang average, and he's been bang average. And you know what? Why drop a player that's on form? I know you just said there, Ben, is Kepa likely to have a dip in form? Yeah, well, every player is. Every player can't give a 10 out of 10 every week. However,
no, that's right.
He's going to be consistently good. So it's like, why would you drop a player that's consistently good for a player that's been? I know Mendy's a Chelsea legend in the short space of time, and he'd done well when Petr Cech brought him in. But at the end of the day, Kepa's been doing it, and I know Kepa's been slated in the past. I was one of the big ones that slated him in the past. But at the end of the day, he's performing now. And I don't care about what player's playing. If they're performing for the club and they're performing, and we're getting results, I don't care who's playing in that position. Perfectly honest. And Gabriel Slonina, is that his name? The goalkeeper we brought in. He's there. So, we can't have 3 first team options. We've got to get rid of one. It's likely going to be Mendy.
Yeah.
I mean, in a typical Chelsea fashion, we get rid of a player and they go somewhere else and they actually perform out of their skin. That's just it's a Chelsea thing. In terms of, I hate talking about this because the one thing that really scares me is what happens when Thiago Silva does retire. I mean, what do we do to replace him?
Well, I think we're going to replace him anyway. I think, Mark, do you want to answer about Thiago Silva, mate, or want me to go ahead?
Yeah, go ahead then.
Yeah, so basically about Silva, I think the best option for Silva is if he wants to continue to play, great. But I don't think he'll be at Chelsea. I don't think it's the direction. If we're pushing for the leagues, which we should be now, we should be pushing for the league after the money we're spending. The likely option is he retires and joins the coaching staff, which is what I want. I want him to join the coaching staff. Or he leaves to, I don't know, let's just say he goes back to Brazil or whatever, plays a year in Brazil, gets that final farewell, hurrah in football. Then he joins Chelsea's coaching staff. Either way, I want him to join as a coach. As a coach, I think he's a good role model. I think he's a good person. And as I say, he goes back to Mendy in the short space of time. He's a bargain. He was a free. We've not spent any money on him apart from wages. He's a free, absolute icon at Chelsea, and I think it will be. This is his last season at Chelsea, in my opinion. I think we're going to go for Guardiola, who, by the way, scored as well tonight for Leipzig. And I think Leipzig are very stupid because we offered 90 million for him. They offered him a new contract. And he's got a release clause for 55 million euros. So thanks for that, Leipzig. You've saved us money there, pal. But I reckon this will be Silva's last year. But I want him to join as a coach. I love Silva.
Yeah.
I think Dad,
he's a legend.
You love Thiago, don't you? You absolutely love Thiago.
He's one of the best players in the workhorse. He great defender. Well, one of the best defenders in the world, I would say.
100%. But it goes back. It goes to, you don't need to look for the superstars either. I mean, at the end of the day, another free transfer that we went for that's a Chelsea icon, Michael Ballack. He was a free. Yeah. He was a free. Look how that worked. So there's free agents there that you can easily get.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, look, we're all happy today, obviously, because we've won. And it's great. But we have to now also think about the future of the Chelsea Academy. There's players in the Academy at the moment that are really, really shining. And I'll point out, just a couple for you. Lewis Hall, Charlie Webster, Amari Hutchinson, Sunset Bell. There's lots of players in the Academy. How do we squeeze them in with the players we're already signing? We're going to have Nkuku coming in. We're going to have possibly Liao coming in. Possibly Gvardiol. all these players coming in. How do we fit the academy boys in? What's your thoughts there, boy? You two. I mean, like, I don't know.
Yeah, we're going to get sort of inundated with players, obviously, because they buy in players, in transfer windows. Yeah. Then, you've got players coming up from the academy, will get very, small amount of playtime. Yeah. If they're lucky. Yeah. I'll be something in a Carabao Cup or an FA Cup, but yeah, it's very hard, because these boys, yeah, unless they, their names are sort of imprinted in gold or the neon lights, they're not going to get a chance.
No.
With all the players they buy in the transfer window, celebrity players, and this is what footballers are now. They are celebrities. If you went back about 40, 50 years ago, yeah, it was just sport, yeah, and the money wasn't there, so the celebrity status come with the money and everything else. There's a lot of, what's the word we use on a daily basis, narcissists and whatnot. It's all there in football. Yeah, it's all there in every sport now. It's yeah,
it's so difficult. I mean, what do you think, Chris? I mean, like, all the academy players we've got. What do you think? Like, when we sign players, do you think there's an opportunity for the academy, or do you think the academy is just there now as a show?
Well, we've got one of the. Well, no, I'm going to say one of. We've got the best academy in England.
Yeah,
we produce talent. We produce talent on talent. For me, if I was in the academy and I was, performing in the academy, I personally, let's be realistic. We're not a Southampton. We're not a Brighton. We're not. Look, if you're a youngster at these clubs, the likelihood is you're going to get the opportunity. But when you're a club like Chelsea that demands success there and then, you have one bad game, you're going to be shipped back to the academy, and you're going to have to wait another opportunity. The best, me personally, if you're in an academy, the best path you should take is follow Reece James, because if you're good enough, you will get in. Reece James went to Wigan and look at, performed out his skin at Wigan, came back. Sure, people are going to say, yeah, we had a transfer ban, so Frank Lampard had to play these players. Reece James would have made it regardless. Reece James is one of a kind. Okay, he's one of those players that you perform from the academy. It's one of those players that you look at and you think, wow, academies can produce players like that. Yeah, because he's took his time. He's went and learned his trade in a club. He's playing regularly at a club like Wigan, with no disrespect to Wigan, a lower side. He's been getting game time. So that's what I'm saying. If you go to a lower side, you're going to get game time. But if you're just sitting around in the academy, waiting for an opportunity, your contract's going to be running down, and you're just going to get shipped off for a free somewhere, and it's going to be like, oh, what could have been? What could have been? So. Yeah, to be honest, Ben and Mark, just follow Reece James' path if you're in the academy. And if you are good enough, you will make it. Because when you get given the opportunity, you'll take it, just like Reece James did, just like the likes of Mason Mount did.
Yeah.
So, and also, I mean, Todd Bowley's, he's getting all these people, technical directors and stuff, because he wants to get a multi-club model. So that's what he's trying to do. He's trying to copy the Red Bull model, and he's trying to copy the City model in terms of having a multi-club model where you have these talents go. I mean, we've just seen that lad from Aston Villa. I can never pronounce his name. For how much was it? 20 million? 20 million, was it?
Carney Chukwuemeka.
Yeah, I mean, we're saying him. He's been coming on, in the 70th minute, 75th minute.
Yeah.
He'll be better with a loan. He's not going to be given, in the summer when Potter gets backed again with another 250 million pound war chest, that lad's not going to get a look in. If you get the opportunity to go on loan, maybe a 2-year loan, get the game time, get the experience out there.
Yeah.
And if you're scoring, Potter's going to look at you if Potter's there. Potter's going to look at you and he'll say, you know what, okay, this lad's went out, learned his trade, done his thing, let's give him a chance. And if you get the chance, this is an important thing. You need to take it. Look at Conor Gallagher, went to Palace, look at him. He's getting opportunities. You need to take the chances. And it's all about football. It's all about mentality. If you've not got the mentality, you're going to crumble. And,
That's right. Yeah.
you know, and also, I 100% agree with Mark, what he's just said there. Back in the day, the only time you heard of footballers being a celebrity is if you had the ego and you had the good looks, if you will. George Best, you know, the Eric
Kevin Keegan
Cantonas.
and all that.
You know, the
Yeah.
Eric Cantonas. The reason
Yeah.
why these players were famous wasn't because they got £1 million in the bank, it's because their egos. But now, because players are so overpaid, they think they can do whatever they want. You know,
Yeah.
Mason Greenwood.
Yeah.
Mason Greenwood's a good example of being an absolute idiot in doing what you're doing. So,
Yeah.
you know, if you're 18 years old, I'm 22, right? So if you were to give me a 500k a week contract, I would be stupid to sit here and tell you I wouldn't change. Of course I would change. You know, you would.
Yeah.
You would,
Yeah.
Ben. I mean, you would change if you were offered a 500k a week a contract. You would be like, "Oh, look at me, I'm the dog's bollocks," you know.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
money changes people.
Yes, exactly.
yeah. And I do agree with you. I do agree with you on what you said, Chris. You know, to follow Reece James's footsteps if you want to make it through the academy. Because look at Reece, you got to look at Reece James and you think, mad.
You've got to start somewhere. You've got to start somewhere. And
Exactly. Yeah.
It's all about what you do with that. It's all about what you do with the opportunity. If you're saying, okay, I'm in Chelsea's academy, I'm not going to go to Reading on loan, or I'm at Chelsea's academy, I'm not going to go abroad. Well, you're stupid then, because you're not going to be playing regular time at Chelsea. If you need to be smart with your decisions. And as I say, some of them are just happy to sit there and collect their wages. But at the end of the day, it won't happen forever. So if you want to keep earning that money, you better start performing. If you don't start performing, see you at the job centre, mate.
Exactly. Yeah.
Exactly. And you know, it's
you look at your Lampards. Yeah, you know, he went out on loan to when he was younger to Swansea.
No, that was John Terry.
Was that John?
That was John
Frank
Terry.
Lampard.
Was it John Terry?
Lampard was at West Ham. Yeah, West Ham, wasn't he?
And he was at West Ham. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
he got told he wasn't good enough. He got told he was too fat. But guess what? Lampard was good enough. And then obviously look at the career he's had. So Lampard, if you've got it, you've got it. If you've not got it, get unlucky.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, like, you know, for example, the one player I've got complaints about that we let go too soon was Daniel Sturridge. And that was important. That was a massive problem. Yeah.
Why?
Because he was scoring goals. He was scoring goals, and he was looking.
I can name a better example. For Kyle Tomori.
Yeah.
I can't believe we let him go. I had an argument with someone earlier actually about how Southgate's going to pick, you know, that player, and I'm like, Tomori should be the first name on that team sheet. The lad got basically let go from Chelsea. He got kind of disrespected in a way because he performed well under Frank. I don't know if it was a fallout under Frank or not. I'm not sure. Baffled me why we sold him. Went to Italy, right? You know, stepped out his comfort zone. It's all about comfort zone. Some people do, you know, too happy to be comfortable. He stepped out his comfort zone, went to Milan, won the Scudetto at Milan, is loved by the Milan fans. I know he never done well in the 2 games we played him. Doesn't matter. That's 2 games out of the 50 games he's played for Milan. Majority of the time, he's a consistent centre-back and he's a very, very good player. And he's another player that said, he knew his worth. He knew, okay, I'm not going to play at Chelsea. See you later. I'm going to go for Milan. I'm going to play in Italy. Him and Mata are the only 2 players that we've let go that have been, wow, we shouldn't have let him go. I know people are going to say again, Salah and Kevin De Bruyne. But when we let Salah and Kevin De Bruyne go, at that time, no one was saying anything. Hindsight's a wonderful thing. But Mata, letting them go at that time was wrong. And Tomori was wrong at that time. But look at his bit is in the backside. Mark Gay here as well. Went to Palace. Lamptey went to Brighton. His bit is in the backside. And hopefully now we're going to realise what talents we have and not let them go out. Not sell them.
And then you had Billy Gilmore.
Gilmore.
You know, when he came
I feel sorry for him. He went to Brighton to work with Potter, and then Potter went to Chelsea. It's mad.
Yeah.
Crazy stuff. Guys, we just had a massive spike in viewers. We've got 15 concurrent viewers in the stream at the moment. So, guys, thank you so much for joining us so far. Guys. Come and drop your thoughts in the chat. Come and say hi. You know, come and speak to us about any footballing subject you want to talk about.
if there's any Chelsea fans, let us know your thoughts on the game. Talk about anything. If you support another team, I mean, even if you're an Arsenal fan, sure, we can talk about Arsenal if you want, but if there's anything you want to talk about, we've got ears, we can listen. Drop it in the chat. Talking Blues.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not getting paid for saying this. Talking Blues is one of those channels where, look, yes, the subscribers aren't there. Yes, the subscribers aren't there yet, but they will be. You know why? Because he's sticking at it, he's doing it, and that's the way it is. Rome wasn't built in a day. If you were to tell me someone that made it like that, I wouldn't believe you. People are successful because they take their time and they do what they want to do. I mean, I'm sure Ben says he loves to stream. Sure, stick at it. And you know what? If it comes, fantastic. If it doesn't come, it wasn't meant to be. But it doesn't mean you failed because you've done what you wanted to do and you love what you wanted to do. And that's what it is.
Yeah.
You get idiots to come in and, I'm not going to go back into that, but you get idiots who want to give it the big one. That just says more on them because their life is miserable and they want to do whatever. Sure, sit behind their computer screen and do whatever. It just shows that their parents are not what they're made out to be. But in terms of the stream, guys, Talking Blues, subscribe, like, share. We talk about anything. It's not just a Chelsea channel. Yes, obviously Chelsea streams, but when you're in the comments, you can talk about anything. Whether it's football, whether it's travelling, whether it's... I know Ben doesn't like politics, but politics, it's a big thing, a big issue we're facing, guys. The country's in a crisis.
I do like politics, Chris. I mean, it's a broad subject, and I think it's a lot to take in when
Gets a bit messy. Gets a bit messy.
Yeah, I mean,
I got to be honest. I love my politics.
Yes, you do. You do, and all.
I do, lads. But you know what annoys me I know we're going to jump on the football in a minute, but it's when people say to me, "Oh, politics." All right, but at the end of the day, politics is the way the country's in. The way the country's in, it annoys me when people get the opportunity to vote and they don't vote, but then they start getting arsey when the Tories are doing this and that to the country. Well, at the end of the day,
you vote. Do you know what I mean? Like,
you didn't have the opportunity to vote.
Exactly.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I think.
Yeah, I can hear you, Chris.
I think people got short memories as well. And it was even when we were canvassing back in 2019 for our constituency here. And, it would just showed me how, women who were answering the door and asking information about the female candidate we were canvassing for, and their husbands were telling them to get back in. They didn't have no minds of their own.
It's what it is, though. I mean, let's talk a bit more about football because politics. No, because
all I want to say is, Ben, if you've got the opportunity to vote, to anybody listening, vote. If you don't want to vote, that's fine. But don't cry when things don't go the way you want them to.
Thank you, Chris.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, guys. We need to talk about other results too. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get some of the results on my screen. Okay, so let's let me get some results up. Get some results up on my screen. So tonight, what's that happened there? Okay, all right. So let's talk about Chris. You still there?
Yeah, mate. Go on.
Okay, so let's talk about. We've obviously talked about Chelsea 2-1 against Salzburg. Great result. Great result. Let's go on to Sevilla 3, Copenhagen 0. I mean, what can we say about that result, boys? I mean, was that expected? Yes.
Yes,
Sevilla going through? Yeah. I don't think so. I think it's
but Sevilla are the Europa League they were the Europa League masters with Emery. I think Sevilla. I mean, I don't want to be sound disrespectful to Sevilla. They're one of those clubs that they've just sacked the manager Lopetegui. For me, I believe that he should have been given more time. There's a manager as well that was a manager of Wolves that I rated and respect so highly, Bruno Lage. I thought he deserved more time at Wolves. I mean, you can't just bring in players like Guedes and Diego Costa and expect it to just happen like that. People forget Diego Costa is not the same Diego Costa. So I think Bruno Lage deserved more time there. But in terms of Sevilla, yeah, I mean, was it expected? Yes, but they'll go into the Europa League. They'll be fine. Look, when we're speaking about clubs like Sevilla, I don't want to sound disrespectful again. They're not going to be winning the Champions League. They're just there to build up the numbers. But good result. Isco as well. Is it Sevilla? Isco. I like Isco. Yeah, 3-0. It was expected, yeah.
Yep. Okay, so then we move on to the other result that really helped us tonight to win the group was Dynamo Zagreb 0, Milan 4. I mean, Dad, I'm going to hand you to this one. Milan, we know what to expect. What did we expect from Milan? In the whole group, I expected them, especially when Tuchel got the sack, to basically be swept off our feet by them. I expected us to be absolutely torn apart, but Potter's come in and done a job and managed to get us over the line with that one. I mean, so that 4-0 result, was you expect something like that against Zagreb, considering they beat us?
I think 4-0 for Milan, a very, very hard team to beat, especially, for anyone who's a mediocre club or not playing well, and like you say, we beat them in 2 legs, but Dynamo's what's it called? Dynamo
Zagreb.
Zagreb,
They beat us. They beat us 1-0.
Yeah, but it's just like in any other league, isn't it?
Yeah, I suppose.
We could, I don't know, beat Man City, and then the following week we play someone like, I don't know, a Leeds or or an Everton or something, and we get beaten. It was, what you think is an easy game sometimes, isn't always an easy game.
Yeah, and then exactly, I think 4-0 though. Well, I wasn't expecting that at all. I mean, Chris, were you expecting that sort of result against Zagreb tonight for Milan?
Well, they had to bounce back. They had to. I mean, Milan got absolutely done in 2 games back to back against us. For me, I'm not a particularly big fan of Milan. I think the way their fans were using excuses were a bit bang out of order, really. I think, and sometimes if you're being beaten fair and square, you just need to put your hands up and say, you know what, they were the better team on the night, and they never. I thought their fans were a bit. The excuses they were making was laughable. For example, when we beat them at the bridge, not just beat them, we annihilated them from start to finish. When we annihilated them, they were using excuses. They were using excuses about certain players being out. Well, you still had Giroud, you still had Leao, you still had Tomori, etc. They still had a team that could still put up a better result than what they got. And then at the San Siro, they were blaming Tomori, whatever. At the end of the day, as I say, it goes back to what I said in the previous stream, lads. Today's football, do not give a player the opportunity. As soon as you touch a player, they go down.
Yes.
That's what Tomori done with Mount. And then obviously they got the penalty, he got sent off. I don't think it was a sending off. But at the end of the day, do not give people the opportunity to do this in the modern day football. So if they had to bounce back, Ben, they had to bounce back, Mark, they had to, because Milan were a laughingstock against us. They had to get a bit of credibility because they were going down to the Europa League. And the Europa League's a competition that I don't really like. I mean, we've been in it twice. We've won it twice. It's not a competition that I think is very competitive. If you want to win it, go and do it. But for me, there's only a competition for the big clubs in Europe, and it's the Champions League. So, was I expecting it? Yeah, I would say that I was expecting it, to be fair. Yeah.
I mean, thanks for that, Chris. I mean, we move on to Celtic versus Shakhtar. Celtic 1, Shakhtar 1. I mean, you can't really say too much about that. Celtic are out of the Champions League anyway. Let's be as realistic as possible about that. I think Celtic could have put more of a fight, but they didn't. So that's that. And then we move on to Leipzig 3, Real Madrid 2. Now, I was not expecting that, but Nkunku put up an absolute masterclass today. I want to get both your thoughts on this. And Chris, I will start with you. Your thoughts on Leipzig 3, Man United, Real Madrid 2.
I think it was a case of, it goes back to what Mark said, I mean, about 2 minutes ago. It's one of those things, that's what makes football. You don't expect the unexpected. There's never, I hate when people say there's an easy game. There is never an easy game in football. Never. I mean, for example, Liverpool versus Forest. Everyone was expecting Liverpool to put Forest away. Forest won 1-0. The beauty of football. This is football. Yeah?
Yep.
I go back to our Champions League wins. No one was putting us down to win it. We won it, and it was a magical moment. It was one of the best nights of my life is when we won the Champions League. And we'll continue to win many more. Yeah, and it's obviously some clubs can't win the Champions League, Arsenal, City, but that's the way it is. That's the way some teams are.
That's the way football, and the way football goes. And one classic example, and I always remind Ben of this, when we played Bradford that time, remember a good few seasons. How many years ago was that?
That was during the Jose Mourinho era.
Yeah. Was it the second season? Was it second?
I think it was the second.
Was it when he came back? When he came back?
Yeah, when he came back. Yeah.
And that was. Oh, jeez, yeah. Bad times. But Mark, 100% agree, mate. I hate when people say there's an easy game. There's never an easy game in football, and this is why you should always give your 100% in any game, because if you're not giving your 100% in any game, results like this can happen. And I think it was a similar situation with Madrid tonight. I think Madrid, they've already qualified. They're one of the favourites to win the Champions League for obvious reasons. Carlo Ancelotti, I love the guy. The guy's a master in European competitions. I think it was just one of them. Their heads were already focused on the next round. And RB Leipzig just thought, well, okay, we'll beat you then. So, was I expecting the result? No. But I'm not shocked. Nkunku's just playing for that move to Chelsea. And I think it will happen. I think he's basically a Chelsea player wearing a Leipzig top. So I'm just, I wasn't expecting it, but I'm not surprised. But Real Madrid, they're focused on other things, but that doesn't excuse getting beat. You should always go out to win every game in football. So,
exactly. Okay, so then we'll move on to Dortmund versus Man City. Dortmund 0, Man City 0. Man City have already qualified, end of discussion. But I wanted Dortmund to win that tonight just to spite City.
I'm surprised at Haaland. I'm surprised, not because I'm not going to say it's a bad signing. Of course I'm not. It's not a bad signing at all. But I'm surprised at the way he's came up against Dortmund this season. I know they beat them. Did they beat them the last game they played? I'm pretty sure. Yeah. So I'm surprised he never went there tonight and gave a good account of himself. Went in there because I like those games. I like those games where players go to former clubs and score a goal. I like to see how they react. I don't like all this. When Lampard was playing for City and he scored against us, I think it was a draw at the Etihad.
Yeah.
When he moved to Man City and he put his hands up, I'm like, I can understand him, but I'm like, you know what? You play for Man City now, mate. You don't play for Chelsea. So if he gave it back to us, I wouldn't mind that. For example, if let's just say Ronaldo, right? If he comes in January, scores against United and does the see, I would love that. It's a little bit rattling the fan base. So. I thought a bit more. I thought Haaland was going to do a bit more against Dortmund, but Bellingham, guys, I just want him in at the club. I knew when Haaland left, Bellingham was going to be the next name on everyone's lips, and he is, and he's an absolute talent. And there's another player as well that we go back to when we were talking about academies. He stepped out his comfort zone to go to Dortmund from Birmingham, and look at the way he's reaping the rewards.
Exactly. That's very true. Dortmund 0, Man City 0. Very, very didn't expect that at all, really. Moving on to Paris Saint-Germain versus Maccabi Haifa. Paris Saint-Germain 7, Maccabi Haifa 2. I wasn't expecting Maccabi Haifa to get any goal at all, let alone 2. But for Paris Saint-Germain to score 7 against such a rugged team, you'd expect them to struggle a bit more, surely. Dad, what do you think?
Oh, yeah. Paris Saint-Germain, is one of the top clubs in Europe, isn't he? Alongside, Bayern Munich. Yeah.
But they've never won a Champions League.
Okay, they've never won a Champions League.
They've never won a Champions League. Well, I think they have, but...
But despite,
no, they
haven't won a Champions League or not,
they
had a great club, they've got, some great players, talent there. And, 7-2. And who did they play?
Maccabi Haifa.
And where are they?
Israeli
team. Ah, right, yeah. So yeah, it does sort of give a bit of a true reflection there, you know. But obviously, Paris Saint-Germain, is it? That's who it is, isn't it?
Yeah.
Paris Saint-Germain, PSG. You know, give a good performance, and you know who scored? I don't know.
I don't. I can check. I can check. Bear with me.
Yeah, well,
So-
while you're checking
Mbappe.
while you're checking who scored, I mean that game. I think the result was to be expected. I mean, it's like bringing a butter knife to a gunfight. It's not going to work out well, is it? I mean, Maccabi Haifa are always park the bus, just frustrate them. You know, annoy Neymar. We know Neymar is reactive. Just piss him
Yeah.
off, wind him up,
Yeah.
slap him across the head. Do whatever you need to do to wind them up. But
Yeah.
it was expected. Yeah.
Yeah.
okay, so Lionel Messi scored 2.
Lionel Messi too. Yeah.
Kylian Mbappe scored 1.
Mbappe scored.
In
Yeah.
fact, he scored 2.
Oh, two. Mbappe.
Right. Neymar scored.
Neymar scored. Yeah.
And Carlos Soler.
Yeah.
And then there was an own goal.
Well, but lads, I think. Do you know what? Speaking about Man City,
Yeah.
speaking about Man City and PSG, I think is a waste of time. Even talking about these sides in the Champions League because they just don't do anything in it. And look, they smash teams. They look, they play fantastic football. Don't care. They don't get the trophy at the end of it. So I'm not interested.
Exactly.
So
That's right. Yeah.
And then there's one final game we've got to talk about as well. It's Benfica 4, Juventus 3. That's a whopper. That's a whopper of a scoreline, I think.
Yeah. It's very close.
I was expecting that. Juventus have been absolutely, without swearing, shocking this season. Juventus have been terrible. I mean, ever since Allegri came back, they've been bang average. Yeah, I was expecting it. I mean, Chiellini left them for LA. I think that shows the kind of state they're in. So, yeah, Juventus are just not. They're another club as well. They don't seem to do it in Europe either. They're just there to make up the numbers. Benfica historically are from a club that's won the Champions League. So I was expecting the result. I was expecting it. Allegri's just shot. I mean, Allegri, how he's still got a job is actually quite. I don't know how. I mean, I'm not calling. I don't like when I see people getting sacked, unless they're Arsenal managers. It's just I don't know. I don't know how he's still got a job. I don't know how he's still in it unless he's on that much money. They can't financially afford it. Well, we should have thought of that before you put him on those wages in the first place, then, shouldn't you? So,
I mean, do we all remember when Allegri was linked with Chelsea to the Chelsea job?
Yeah.
Jeez. Could you imagine the state we could have been in?
Well, yeah.
That's all the results. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to end the stream here, guys. I mean, it's been an amazing stream. We've been on here for an hour and 12 minutes. That's pretty good. And we've had 369 views in total.
Yeah.
And that's been fantastic. And Chris, thank you
we've
so
had
much.
Chris on.
Thank you so much for coming on. Tonight, mate.
Our number one fan, Chris, and we're his number one fan as well.
Yeah. Can't wait for the few nights out in London with you after some Chelsea games, mate. It'd be an absolute laugh.
Obviously, I know you're in the stream, so I mean, it was an absolute pleasure to be, on the channel. It's been a long time coming. I was supposed to jump on. I think it was a transfer window, but there was issue, family matters, etc. But it's a pleasure to jump on, the first stream on the channel. Here's to many, many more. Up the Chelsea, and before I forget, the man of the match for me is going to be Chalobah.
Yeah, man of the match for me. I'm going to say I would love to pick Chalobah, but on this occasion, I'm going to say Kai Havertz. Dad, what about you?
Man of the match, I would say Chalobah as well. He's been playing exceptionally well. He's a bit of a workhorse on that field. And overall, I just think he's a great attribute for the team.
I mean, do we actually know who got it? I was just checking now.
Jorginho, I think.
Yeah,
Jorginho was it?
Jorginho.
Yeah.
I mean, deserved maybe, but there was players that deserved it more.
Oh well, I mean, at least they went to one of our players anyway.
Exactly, but guys, that's the end of this stream today. Thank you so much for watching,
Thank
guys.
you, guys.
Thank you, Chris, for coming on.
Anytime, lads.
Before we end the stream, please make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Share this video out, share the stream out as much as possible, guys. Share the channel out as much as possible. It really does help us out. And guys, we're going to stream here. Until next time, guys, take care and we'll see you soon. Bye.
Bye, guys.